Everyone, welcome back to the shop, and today we are taking a quick look at the LaserPecker 5. This is a 20-watt diode and 20-watt fiber combo unit. It's very portable. If you're familiar with the LaserPecker line, they are small desktop units that are easily ported around. This is their latest one with the highest power that we've seen so far. We got our hands on an early unit, so we're able to give you our unboxing and first look today, and then we're going to follow this up with a more in-depth review. So I'm excited to take a look at this box. I hope you are too. So let's jump right into it. So as I mentioned earlier, LaserPecker did send this out for early review. And so what we're going to do, we're going to take a look at this. This unit that they sent looks to be the deluxe kit. So I'm not 100% sure the various different packages that they have for this one, but I believe this one does have the rotary and possibly the slide extension. So let's crack into this box and take a look at what was sent our way. All right, so we have some manuals at the top. It does look like it has the main laser manual here, along with a slide extension manual as well as a rotary extension manual. So it looks like this kit does have all three. We have a little box up top here, and I'm guessing this is a small sample material pack, possibly. Let's take a look. Yeah, that looks like what's in here. We're not going to open this up in its entirety right now, just because it'll make a bit of a mess. We want to get to the rest of this, the meat of it. A nice plate here. This looks to be the rotary, chuck rotary. So this will have some different jaws on it. And on the back, we've got multiple USB ports for connecting. Kind of an interesting style that they use. It's nice that they use kind of common cables. And this does tilt, so we'll be able to adjust the angle. Here's a standoff for the rotary. All right, we've got, looks like slide plate extension plates. And a whole box here labeled rotary extension parts. Looks like maybe the chuck jaws on there. This looks like to be the slide extension base. Everything's well boxed individually, and then they're labeled. So this says power adapter in its individual box. We got AC cord again, USB cable. So nice to see they're well marked out. Have a nice toolkit here. Looks like protective eyewear. All right, in here we have just looks like a regular cutting plate. It's got the rubber feet on the bottom, so this should fit on here if you're just using the cutting of the machine in itself. It gives some airflow underneath it. So it is well packaged in here. Okay, so this is their shroud, and we're getting close to the meat of this. So here is the tower, the actual meat of this whole thing, the laser head unit itself. We will gently set this down there. Just double check our box for any other hidden items. I'm not seeing any, so I'm gonna get the rest of this cleaned up, and then we will take a look at the manual and get this thing assembled. All right, so I've brought you in a little bit closer for the assembly. It's pretty straightforward. They have in the manual, well documented with photos, shows you exactly what you need to do. And for the bulk of it, it's really just attaching the stand to the base and then adding the laser head to the stand with that knurled knob. So we're of course gonna just go ahead and pull out our toolkit here. And we need to first attach the tower electric stand assembly. So we need a 2.5 millimeter hex key, so that's going to be the larger one in the kit, and we need a couple of M4 screws. Looks like the M4 by 10s here on the side, so they actually have them labeled pretty well. These are these have the countersunk head to them, and looks like we'll need 4 of them, so we'll go ahead and pull those out. And this is going to go in this way. This does kind of recess down in there, so alignment should be fairly simple. So I like to just get each one started just a little bit, and before fully locking any of them down, make sure they're all engaged. That means your There's no twisting and you're not gonna strip anything out. All right, there's the tower to the base. And now this has a little key here into that kind of square part. So this should just set down in there. Once you get everything lined up, it should key down into that square. There we go. Tighten that up. So I'm just tightening this up, drawing this whole thing down into that plate. And as far as assembly, now that laser is basically set up. Next, we can look at attaching the conical protection cover. Now, this does pop off, it looks like. So there's little tabs here and they're magnetic. So you just slide that forward. We're gonna remove this lens cap real quick. Get that out of the way, and then there. You'll feel that kind of lock in, and then you can, if I can do this from underneath, you can hit those thumb screws. Rotate this around, so easier to get in through this front bit. Just gonna tighten those down, and then I'm gonna go ahead and pop this lens cover back on while we're still assembling things. There we go. And then, as I mentioned before, this will just magnetically go back into place. All right, so we've got the laser assembled. Now we're gonna need our box of USB cables to get everything connected. You're also gonna wanna grab, in the toolkit, there's a couple of these little micro USB keys. This is actually gonna unlock this device. We'll show that in a bit. They do have an included USB drive we're going to be playing with, so we're going to want that. And also, you may want to hook up your hose. So there came with this little cone extension here. This screws on to the pipe, and then it will clip on to the back here. So let's get this spun around. We'll take a look at all the connections on the back. All right, we have all of our connections really happen in this main section of the back module here. You'll see we have 3 of these blue USBs. These are all basically power out, so they go to the various devices we're going to attach to it. Also have USB, so this is where we could attach a USB stick. We also have USB-C that goes out to the computer. We have our key spot, and then we have our power. So we have attached the tower and the cone. The manual labels these as certain ones. I haven't found that they need to be in any specific order, but you can follow that. So they do provide a variety of different cables. So some will be longer and others will be shorter, but they have USB-C on one end, USB-A on the other, and that is so we can go from the various devices into the laser module, the main one. So we need to connect the lifting tower. So we're going to plug in the USB-C down at bottom. We'll just plug this in there, and then we'll connect this to our end port. And then, like I say, you want to have your key here. This is going to what actually unlocks it. If you don't have this in here, your laser won't be able to connect to your devices. Our cone with the exhaust fan, this is to plug in the fan. We're going to plug this into one of these blue ones as well. And then, of course, we have the USB thumb drive. This is going to go into the white one because what we're going to be doing today is working with some of the preloaded files on here. Just get a preview of what this laser can do. And then connectivity, you can connect to this via Bluetooth to your tablet or phone, or you can hook up to your computer via USB. So we're going to plug in the USB cable here on there, and then this will stretch over to the computer. Now, if you are venting this outside and you have like a window or something, they provide this extendable hose. Like I said, it has this cone that kind of screws on there, and then this will just snap on to the back. So just get that connected. You can then stretch this out to the window, or you can also attach it to the optional fume extractor. So if you're on site at an event and you want to help keep some of that smoke and debris and odor down, you can definitely look into that fume extractor. There is no power switch on the LaserPecker. You'll notice up on top there are 3 buttons. One is an emergency stop, one is a focus, and one is a pause and restart button. As well as on the tower, we have the up and down buttons. We'll show the operation in a minute to lift and raise this. So we're gonna go ahead and power this on. You just plug it into the back. We've got the power brick plugged into the wall. And it'll take just a minute. You'll see the light up on the front. The fan's gonna turn on, and this is gonna start flashing blue that it's looking to connect. You'll notice there's a little bit of noise. So the unit itself has a fan, as well as the shroud with this exhaust port has the fan. So I can unplug the shroud just a little. And so that brings the noise quite a bit down, but that's not gonna be exhausting out the dust and debris. So just be mindful, there is a little bit of extra noise with this compared to the other models, but it's got a lot more power into it too. So let's get this hooked back up and look at some of the other features and functions. And so as I mentioned, these buttons on top, the back one will raise it up. If you just push it, it will raise up about a millimeter or so at a time. If you push and hold, it will go into auto lifting mode. Push it again to stop. Same thing with down. You can bump it down or push and hold, and it will lower automatically. You'll notice on the side we have this grill here, and this is magnetically held on, so you can pop this off and clean it off, but there's a fan here that is providing intake and also kind of a passive one on this side. This is actually pulling air in, so if I hold this cloth here, you'll see that kind of sucks up against it, and then it exhausts out the top actually, so it's blowing out there. There is another grill over on this side. As far as I know, this one does not pop off, but this is just allow more passive air. So your active cooling of the module is coming in this backside and coming out the top there. One of the nice improvements with this protective cone is they did include this magnetic cover. It just kind of pops on and off. You've got these little tabs on the sides to grab it. This allows easy access to put your material in. And then if you need to focus, you can turn on the focus button. So to focus, you've got two little red dots, and you push the buttons and raise or lower it until they meet. And then as you get closer, you can just fine tune that in, and you're wanting them to just exactly overlap. And then you know that your material, that your laser is focused on the top of your material. All right, we have the LaserPecker 5 attached to our desktop software here. You can also connect this to your tablet or your phone, but I like working with the laptop, gives us a little more area. But the nice thing is both of the softwares are about the same. So what we're gonna do is we're just gonna use one of their preloaded files. So if we click on the USB icon over here, it's gonna open up the USB disk that is on the engraver itself. And we're just gonna go ahead and select this first engraving, and we'll hit preview. So now we can come over here, pop open our lens on the laser, drop in our material. So we've got one of these little wooden keychains here, and we're gonna refocus this. So it looks like we need to bring it down just a little bit. We're gonna bring those two dots together, and then we're gonna use the blue outline as the frame, kind of make sure that that is lined up the way we want it. And once we're good with that, we can go ahead and hit laser engraving and send the job to the laser. You see it's using the blue light, and the fan is pulling the smoke away, but we're gonna go ahead and pop on the shield. And just like that, the job is done. We can pop off the shield, pull it back out, and there you see we got a really nice engraving on there. Just a little bit of vaporization on there that we'll clean up with some alcohol, but in just a little over a minute, did a really nice engraving on that keychain.
So there are many other materials that this laser can work with, and included on the USB drive was this deep edge of a slate coaster. And as you see, it is digging in deep, but I actually used one of my own that was a little bit thinner, and as you'll see in this photo, it actually blasted through the bottom. So moving on, we are also playing around with some anodized aluminum cards. This is my own card, but I pulled up one of their clip arts in the software. So we did an engrave first. That was real-time engraving you saw there. And then it's gonna go ahead and I added a circle, and we're actually cutting through this metal. You'll see on the this foil board there that the light is flashing through to the bottom, so it is actually going through that metal. Now, this is only good on thinner metals like these cards, but definitely something you can do. So of course we also have the 20-watt blue diode laser in here. So I took some 3mm craft plywood, tossed it in there, and using the software dropped my logo in. So we're gonna go ahead and engrave it first, and then once that is done, we'll follow up with a cut. So you'll notice on the cut it is moving through, and you can see the smoke getting pulled out there. And I actually run this in 2 passes just to cut down on the charring. Did a pretty good job, and as you'll see, nicely cut out. Now, not only can we do a deep engrave, but this is a real-time engrave of slate tile. Just again, taking some clip art out of their software. This is a spider that is in part of their festivals. Does a really nice job and does not take too long at all.
All right, well, that's where we're going to wrap up this unboxing and initial testing of the LaserPecker 5. We ran through some of their sample files on the USB disk. We did some wood engraving, wood cutting. We even engraved and cut some thin metal, blasted all the way through a slate tile. I'm going to be rerunning that with a thicker coaster to really complete that job. But just wanted to kind of get a sample showcase of what this machine can do. I'm going to be jumping into more in-depth testing on a variety of these processes and get a little more time on this machine and give you my overall thoughts on it. So if you have any questions or comments about it, leave those down below. If there's something you think I should test out in some of those videos, let me know as well, as I will be giving you more of my full in-depth look at it here in a very short while. If you're interested in the LaserPecker 5, I will have links down below. They are affiliate links, and that does tell them that you felt my information here is useful and helps to continue my cooperation with them as we go. So I appreciate that. And if I have any special codes or coupons, I will definitely leave those down in the description as well. So check that out. If I can save you money, I'd be happy to do that. So always look for those. Anyway, thanks again for watching this. I hope you enjoyed it. And look for those future videos to come on this machine. Otherwise, check out some of my other videos on a variety of workshop things from lasers, CNCs, and general woodworking. And in the meantime, hope you can get out in your workshop and make something too. We'll catch you next time.